Hello, welcome to the story of the Melbourne Footy Club ahead of our round 21 clash with the D's. So in this video, I want to look back at the story of Melbourne as a supporter, and I'm going to ask you at the end of the video to recount your best and your worst memory against the D's. There's a rich history with the Melbourne Football Club and the Carlton Football Club. The first time we ever played was round 5, 1897. And on that day, the Blues got done by 81 points. It was 3 goals, 826 to 15 goals, 17, 107 at the MCG. I don't know any of these names. I don't think any of us would know any of these names, but it's pretty cool to see two clubs who have a rich history come up against each other. And I think for the purposes of this video, it's also great because there's a wide range of supporters who have seen either a little bit or a lot or somewhere in between. So I'm sure there are going to be many memories recounted in the comment section below. So the total tally of games that we've played against the D's, we've played in 217 times. The Blues have won 118 of them. The D's have won 97 of them, and we've drawn twice in our club's history. So there's a little bit of fact for you there. Now, the best and worst. I'll start with the worst because it's always good to end on a high. The worst for me, no doubt, was last year, 2022. And it's in recollecting that memory that gets me excited for this week. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the official match preview. But I just remember the game clearly. We were gallant that day. Wounded, not so different to what we are today, a little bit, especially in the midfield. And, you know, obviously we lose the game in devastating fashion. Jake Melksham becomes Wayne Carey for a night, even though he's done it a couple of times in his career. I still remember the 4-on-1 that we lost when he marked it. And I still remember Keziah Pickett kicking that goal. And I was sitting on level 1, sort of in our defensive pocket, Melbourne's forward pocket. And I remember so clearly time stopping and freezing and everything started going in slow motion when he kicked that ball. Because moments earlier, Charlie Curnow had kicked a goal which we all thought was going to be the goal that was going to win the game and put us through, and we would have made finals for the first time in a long time. And I remember looking around and seeing the joy in everyone's faces when Charlie kicked that goal. So Keziah Pickett breaks hearts with that kick, goes through. And I, at the time, had never seen anything like that in my life. Like a moment like that to lose a game with finals on the line in my life. Now, history will show that I went to see it again a week later when Jamie Elliott did something not dissimilar. But yeah, that would be the worst moment, even though that was probably the best game against the D's that I've ever watched. So it was a great game of football, obviously devastated because we lost the game in the way that we did. And it meant, you know, we had to wait another week for a chance at finals, which we didn't succeed with. And so that's the worst. The best, and this is where it's interesting, I don't really have too many memories against the D's where they stick in my memory and it's like, oh, gee, that was such a great night. Like, I remember beating them in 2011. We were a pretty good team. They weren't so good. I don't remember many of the clashes in the early 2000s. I know we played them in a final in the early 2000s. I don't remember it. And so my memory is littered with nothing too special, nothing where I had such a great time and it was profound and it sticks in my mind. And I didn't realize that I thought that way until I started recording this video and thinking about what I would say and what I would do. You know, we've lost 7 in a row against the D's at the time of filming this video. So, you know, we have to go back to 2016 before we beat them. And I remember the last time we did beat them, I remember Jordan Lewis king hitting Patrick Cripps from behind. And I remember hating Jordan Lewis ever since. I remember loving him as a player because he was so tough and ruthless. And I remember instantly hating him when he king hit Cripps from behind. And I remember Wiedering getting right into Jordan Lewis and pushing him in the back. And but the best memories against the D's come in wins which don't mean much and are not very profound in my mind. So That's my take. There's my best. There's my worst. What about you? What do you remember about the Melbourne Football Club? Obviously, there's games, there's the Cruiser Cup, 2006, which again, we lost the game. I just feel like against the D's, it just hasn't meant much. We haven't played in meaningful games for a long time. Now, on the one hand, it might be because both of our clubs have been struggling at one point or the other, or at the same time. I think now, for the first time in a long time, Carlton have sort of come to the party, and we're a better side than what we have been over the last 10 years. So I think that has something to do with it. And I think this Saturday will be a great game no matter what happens, just like last year's was, even though it was heartbreaking. And, looking forward to seeing what eventuates. So over to you. Share with me in the comments below. What do you remember about the D's? Your best memory and your worst memory. Leave a comment below and document it, and we'll chat in the comments. Go Blues.